Okay, so we got an Akali versus Aurelion Soul. Why this VOD? What are we looking for? And we're in Plat 4.
Yep, Plat 4.
All right. So what do you want to get out of this one, bud? And what's your
I
name?
just wanted to be able.
Sorry. What do you go
Huh?
by? What do you go by?
Oh, Ventus is good.
Ventus. Okay.
But this game felt super coin flip, and I had a lot of trouble closing it out.
Okay.
And I'm not very good at identifying what's coin flip and what's replicable.
All right. Looks like we get a 1. Shenanigans happen. You unfortunately have to start E for lane, although E is very, very good at level 1s. I understand what he did. Cool. So I think back here it looked like Asol got chunked. Yeah, he got chunked. So he's going to be late to lane. Yep. I think we're going to be using that E very early on. Maybe we could have used it to get this. We could have. We don't take damage. Anyways, because it's Aurelion Soul, so I don't mind using the E there. Good attempted pressure. The one thing I'd like you to notice is how much damage you took from the minions from being up there. And we are D-ring, so that is kind of tough. So given we're kind of weak early and Aurelion Soul's also kind of weak early, I really kind of hate us doing this, which is kind of how we get fucked in this lane, right? We're at half HP because we tried to play aggressive into a minion wave, right?
Yeah.
Now Aurelion Soul can just Q, and it's just like we're just completely out of this lane. Like, I understand why you didn't take Doran's shield here, but
I think I would have preferred it.
yeah. Either that or like even a long sword refillable might have been the play. I don't know. Or what's it called? Dark Seal refillable as well. But I'm not an Akali player as much. I do really like playing Akali in norms, but we did have to blow both our pots because of that, so that's a little bit punishing. Unfortunately, we don't get that. Hopefully, we get this. Yes, we do. Very good. But we know our limits. Don't use an ability on it, because that would have AoE'd the wave and made things hard. Wow, I'm impressed, honestly. Like, what the fuck happened here? We know Akali. So we don't recognize here that Aurelion Soul can still just keep burning us because he's gonna see this.
Yeah.
So the Shroud doesn't actually do anything besides get us more energy, which is fair, which is good. But so maybe next time we could play this a little bit differently, right? So now that we know that, we could hold our Shroud until here when we know Aurelion Soul doesn't have his Q because we haven't actually used any of that additional energy yet. So now we'd E, we do this, and then we'd Shroud. We'd walk away, get our passive, and auto attack him, and he'd die. We wouldn't die. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very, very, very specific thing, but specific things matters. Teleport back, using it before 5 minutes. I'm going to say that to every single person that I know, their mom. It's so close here. Let's not compensate. not compensate. Okay, we end up actually getting both of them. Wow. This is lucky, though.
Oh yeah, I felt very lucky.
So, like, I think if we're going to play this out and want to go in like this Fiora has almost nowhere to go. I just throw our E right now on this Fiora. If it hits, cool. Well, I guess Fiora has parry here still somehow because she uses it, right? Yeah. So I guess that's not right. Yeah. So yeah, this is very lucky, and not only is our early Soul's punishing us by chasing us down, but this wave is going this way, so we're losing a bunch of CS. It's really bad. We don't have teleports, so we're just kind of fucked. If Aurelian Soul wants to freeze that wave, can. But he decides not to. So while that worked out excellently for us, it is not replicable at all. It's actually game losing. Mm. So I understand that we're like waiting to try and last hit that cannon, but we kind of get punished for it because the wave gets stuck here, and this is really not where we want it. We're gonna end up losing a whole other wave because of this, right? Play that really well. Wow. But imagine back here if we would have just pushed this a little bit harder, the wave would have gotten under the tower while all this was happening. We could have denied that entire wave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is super close, so like, while I think it works out, I don't. Okay, so we do know that Sejuani queued over the wall, and it's like an 18-second cooldown early. So we do know that when we hit our E here, that she can't queue us. So that is a safe E2 to go for. Otherwise, she'd interrupt and we just die. But we barely get out. It's very. It's a good play. It'd be better if we got this in faster. And I like that we went and helped, but super close. So I can't really tell you whether that's lucky or you just knew your limits. But I think it's regardless good to try. Probably a little bit lucky to have gotten this far ahead in the first place. Because in other games, you know, this fight would have been a lot closer because we wouldn't have had those 2 kills from earlier that were lucky anyways. So, but we do use the fact that we have those. The thing I fundamentally dislike about this play and how close it is it's fine if you're trying to limit test, right? If we want to limit test and say, hey, you know, I'm cool like throwing this game potentially to try this. But keep in mind how big a shutdown we have right now and how many Dark Seal stacks we have. Like,
yeah, so the play isn't like really needed.
It's not. It's too risky. This is like a 30%er to like maybe a 60% at max, right? But you kind of have to do it for your kindred. But like, there's potentially some points where like, yeah, your kindred's here. She got her stack. She got what she wanted. She's coming back. She's trying to fuck up the Aurelian Soul, and we try and go for this. When he does that, I think we do push the play by going forward here. And while it feels nice to get this, I think we just back off. He's already chunked. He has to back. He's going to lose all this farm. We have these Dark Seal stacks. We have a shutdown. We don't need to do anything more. We're already winning. Force them to do something stupid. right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it all works out. It's all great. And if you had the intention of like, oh, if you knew your limits here and knew all of that would happen, I say fucking great. I'm really proud of you. I say also if you were just like, hey, I want to limit test this, fucking great, do it, love it. But if you think if you didn't know your limits and you're not trying to limit test, then that's not the right play to go for. This Aurelian Soul is really fucking hinting. Man. Holy shit. I mean, we are fed. So again, we're kind of doing this thing. Like, while I respect the fact that you're coming down here, though, like, I think actually, like, it's the same thing. They're safe. This play is already dead. We don't want to force something down here unnecessarily when we've got these Dark Seal stacks in our thing. All we have to do here is push that wave in, get this farm, get this experience, push this wave in, and then block Aurelian Soul from coming back, and we'll get the same result of killing this guy.
Okay.
Right? So we don't need like while it's great, it works out, coming down here, but you're potentially I'm just saying you're potentially losing this and throwing the game.
Yeah.
I think you're perfectly fine to make this play based on how far ahead you are and how explosive this is. But you are risking taking unnecessary risks, I think. I think this play is good. Like, I honestly think that making the play is fine. And it's a personal preference of choice of which you want to do. I'm a much more conservative player that I like 100% plays most of the time, so I would have just pushed that in, blocked him off, slowly, like suffocated him out of the game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that at the end of the day, I think you're so far ahead that you can do that, and it's personal preference. Because at the end of the day, you really do want to transfer your lead. I think Akali is like actually like a carry that can 1v9 games. But having a secondary carry is good. So I would honestly kind of stop taking some of these kills and trying to give them to other people when possible. So I personally hate having all the eggs in my basket. Because if I fuck up once or they just crowd control me, burst me down, the rest of my team has nothing. This is another one of those risky unnecessary plays. The reason why that is, Leona's here. Like, it's you can probably do this. A little bit dangerous. And see, we have to blow our flash, and if they play that a little bit better, we basically die. We might even die anyways to the Fiora. Man, and our luck still doesn't catch up. Okay.
I actually didn't see the Sejuani.
Yeah, I didn't either. But here, I was like, okay, our luck finally caught up with us, right? We kept taking these mechanical plays. Right? We really liked doing that, and we really liked testing our limits and fucking with these guys and doing all this fun shit. But we just threw, it wasn't to someone significant, but we just threw 1,000 gold back at them.
Yeah.
Right? Plus assist. And think about it, when you do that, like, yeah, you're strong. Like, yeah, fuck, I'm getting strong. but think about how much stronger your opponents are than the average on your team, right?
Yeah.
You brought someone up to your level, but your team's still down here. So you just made your life harder. So I don't think you like alternatively, what do we do back here? Like I'm okay walking up to this point. We see this and we just go to it. We just go kill her. Push midwave, let them have the Herald. They have a man advantage, leave it be. That's what I think we do here. Come on, bud. You can do it. Yep, see, this is a play that I like. See, this is the thing that I like. We know that Leona's bot lane, right? We know that it's at most a 3v3, right? We do see Sejuani over here, but this is the type of thing that I'm looking to do. Someone oversteps, and then we can like collapse on this person who's clearly inting because they're not allowed to do this. This is how we build leads. This is replicable. A lot of the other stuff up until this point was very unreliable, in my opinion. Should you have gone for a lot of that? I mean, I definitely think you should have gone for the first one, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's just all close.
Yo, Zach.
Hmm.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Gerst, it looks to me like you're saying yes to the plays without considering who could be there.
Yeah.
So like
It's just a bunch of yes.
You see what's on your screen.
Yes. I want to fight. I want to fight.
I think ultimately that's what's causing at least in this VODs in particular, what's causing the flippiness is it's like you're playing towards your identity, which is you want to skirmish, you want to rumble. Okay, that's fine. But you're not considering. You're considering what's on your screen, but you're not considering what's not on your screen and what could be on your screen that you don't see.
Well, it's not just that, but it's a mindset issue, right? We have a lead. When we have a lead, we want to make high percentage plays, right? Because if the game goes linear from there, we're just going to win because we've got this lead. They're going to mess up because they can't have vision. They can't have priority. They can't safely take all their jungle camps. The opposite's true when we're behind, right? When we're behind, we have to take risky plays because that's the only way we come back in the game. Sometimes you have to sneak that Baron or Death Bush, right, to get a pick.
Or try to 2v3.
Right. Well, yeah. Sometimes you have to do that. So, depending on your mindset and how fed we are, right? Depending on how things are going, that's how we're going to determine what type of things we do. To me, you're just like yes and yes to everything. You're playing like you're behind.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think it. Yeah, I agree. I think it comes down to like the plays aren't flip if you're considering who could be there, and then I don't think you would make the plays. I mean, maybe you would, but like
again, look, oh, it was so close. Like you could die there easily.
Yeah.
It feels like we're taking like the 70%ers most of the time. Like this feels like a 70%er to me because again we're fighting man down, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Ideally, what we want to do here, like, imagine if what happened is we shoved this wave first, someone reacted at the okay. Let me explain this to you for a sec. So if we shove this wave, if someone doesn't react here, like we don't necessarily shove that wave, but maybe we stack a wave. But if someone doesn't react there, they lose. If someone does react here, we roam bot and 4v3. And we win.
It's a higher percentage play that way.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to create a man advantage, right? So the reason why we can get this shove is because we're ahead. We're so far ahead that he can't even walk up to contest this. So we can safely stack 2 to 3 waves and keep him there for 30 seconds. And this is what we do. This is our high percentage play. This is how we translate our lead. Not just like randomly when there's looks to be a fight that's happening. Like, yes, sometimes we have to react to sideline plays, but ideally we're shoving, then moving, because that gives us time to make high percentage plays. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know why I know this game's a fiesta?
I have 80 CS at 15 minutes.
What the fuck
Yeah.
are we doing? Like, we can't be 10 CS per minute necessarily in a game like this. But imagine we're like 8 CS per minute, right? What does that leave us? 15 times 2, we're down 30. And that, so we're at like 120, right? So that's 40. So that's 40 CS, which is 2 kills, right? We could be, doesn't matter if we're 14 or 10 and 2, right? That doesn't matter, right? We could be level 12 or level 11 if we got all that farm, right? Maybe. Maybe only a level 11, not level 12. Level 12 seems a little insane. But if we were focused a little bit more on taking the game a little bit slower, then yeah, 100% we wouldn't have all these kills, but we'd have the same lead, just in farm.
And in a safer way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Games like this are fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I feel the temptation to just like go ham because you're like, oh man, I'm so strong. I want to do this. This is so much fun. I love these types of games where I get to have so much fun. I just one shot everyone. But you play like that in norms. But if you're trying to win, yeah, high percentage plays.
Oh, I almost threw this game. So
yeah, so many times. How many times this game did you get away with like 30 or less HP?
Yeah,
right? Think about that. It's so close. Not to mention when we had a massive shutdown so many times. Yeah, we're almost throwing this game away. And here we're just trying to do too much at once. We're like, oh man, I just want to ooga booga. I want to fight. I want to kill these guys. My kindred's on Rift Herald. Fuck that. No, just calmly go take the Rift Herald. use Rift Herald mid. When the dragon's up, use that to get the dragon, stack your dragons, get a Baron, split push your way to win. This is completely unnecessary. Because if you're the enemy right now, what do you want? You want to go 1-for-1.
Yeah.
You're giving them what they want. It's so bad.
And if Kindred doesn't have ult here, she dies.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. And I promise you, I'm not trying to be mean when I say this at all. I just want you to understand exactly where this is coming from. But I legitimately think you only made 2 good decisions this game. If that. You definitely made 1 good decision when you caught the Fiora over here, but I think the rest of this was incredibly lucky. Unless you genuinely knew your limits here.
I half knew my limits there. As far as killing the Sejuani in that play, I knew my limits. But as far as taking the 1v2 holistically, I didn't know my limits.
Yeah. Oh. Honestly, from this point onward in the game, I think that we've gotten the point across, right? To take the high percentage plays. I don't even care what happens and how much you might throw this game, because if we have that mindset in the future, none of that'll happen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. Do you have any questions, or was there anything else specific in the rest of this file that you want me to cover or look at?
No, that was it. Just the mind shift, or the mindset shift. It's probably gonna be enough.
Awesome.